hello to whoever's watching this video. Just thought I'd do a little update. I got rid of my 2.2 Mondeo Titanium Export. Now I've got myself a 2.5 5-pot. And I thought I'd just give you a little rundown of what's been done to it. Most of which I did not do. It's previous owners that did it. And yeah, just tell you how it is. And if you're looking at getting one, should you? Pros and cons of swapping. You know, if you've got a 2.2 or a 2 litre, you fancy a petrol, should you do it? I'm not sure if you're able to pick this up in the video, but this Mondeo doesn't seem quite as, I don't want to say not as well put together, but there's definitely, I reckon, a few more rattles in this one compared to my old one. It's livable, but it's just, it could be just this car, but there's definitely a few more rattles. Anyway, since we're at a set of lights, I might as well just explain what's been done to this one. It's a JWR Stage 3 Plus. It was Stage 3 when I got it, and I went back there in December and got the updated Stage 3 Plus. And I also asked them to put pops and bangs on, which I know is a kind of childish thing to do, and I know it's a Mondeo, but I kind of wanted to relive my Fiesta days where it pops and bangs on that. And I think in that way, this compared to the Fiesta, this does pops and bangs better because it's under 3,500 RPM. It's like a burble, so it's not really that bad. It's only after that where you start to get the actual pops. And yeah, so you got that map. I think Wisbeck Engineering crossover, and an AirTech filter, Elevate, intercooler, and a full Scorpion exhaust. And yeah, when you tie it all together, it's supposed to be around 300 brake. I mean, I had it at 286 on the dyno, but I'm not sure if their dyno was set up correctly, because at 5,500 RPM the car died. Didn't die, but like the power halved, went to, you know, from 280 to 120. So I'm not sure if they set up the dyno correctly, because that doesn't happen on the road. Or maybe the traction control wasn't happy. I know that can happen on some of these cars. Traction control will kick in, or ABS sensors aren't happy and things like that. But yeah, the car feels quick enough for what it is. So yeah, interior is nearly the same. It's, you know, it's just a slightly older car. The climate control is a little bit different. Same radio, different clocks up here, which you can change. And I think there's a couple other little differences in the interior, but it's basically the same. If you're thinking of getting one of these, or doing what I did and swapping your diesel for a petrol, just be warned. You know, you might see people go on about with the Focuses and that, and with the same engine, the STs, that the fuel economy isn't that great. It isn't. It might be even worse in this because it's a bit heavier. If you're expecting like mid-20s or something like that in the town, you can say goodbye to that. I'm averaging 18, and I don't bomb it everywhere. On a longer run you can get 30, maybe 35 if you're lucky, but if you're planning on doing any long distances, do not get this car or a Focus equivalent with the same engine. Just don't do it. Or if you do it, you've got to really love this engine. I do a lot of short journeys, so I didn't really warrant the diesel. And even I feel it. I can feel the difference massively. And then there's tax. I think it's £415 a year. I think that's going up to 430 soon. But suppose it's not as bad as the Cougars. I think the Cougars with the same engine around the same year, I think they're like £700 a year, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, if you want a Mondeo, I mean, if you want like a Focus or the engine from a Focus, but you want a bigger car, then maybe just look at one of these. I mean, they still handle all right. You know, it's not going to be the most amazing thing around the bends. It's still a fairly big, heavy car. But you can still hustle it around. I know there's if you wanted to put better bushes and everything, you could. I'm not sure I'd recommend it to most people, especially if they're daily driver. I don't see why you'd want to put hardened bushes in everything. A few of them you can, like the torque mounts and stuff, like I done. You can get it lowered if you want. I did that with my old one and I kind of regretted it. It did get a bit harsh. I think I might look into a stiffer, bigger rear anti-roll bar, see if that will tidy up the handling a little bit, because I don't really want to lower this one. But yeah, I mean, these cars are, especially the titanium export versions like this one, they are a little bit rarer now. I suppose they've always been a little bit rare, but they don't go for too much money. It's just one of those cars that kind of probably get overlooked. I mean, you don't really know they're out there. I had someone a few weeks ago, he thought I kind of just dropped in the engine when I told him it was a 2.5. I said, no, that's how they come with it. Obviously, not many people at the time these are out probably spec'd a Mondeo with this engine. It didn't really make much sense. But yeah, but that's the whole point of this car, really, is that engine. I think the interiors are nice. It's dated, but it's still nice. It's still got all the things you need: auto lights and wipers, and front and rear parking sensors, so you don't have to worry. I mean, like I said, my car's got a fair few rattles and that, you know, that door card or whatever when you're playing music and other bits and pieces. But I suppose it's to be expected of a 16-year-old Ford now. If you're looking at them, maybe try and join one of the Facebook groups, because there's some people that have been on there for years and they are quite knowledgeable and have done a fair few things. I know there's someone on YouTube who's converted theirs to four-wheel drive. There's a few people that have gone the RS Turbo route and they're running, you know, 400, 450. So I think one of them around 500. I just saw a duck get ran over. That was interesting, and it blew up. All the feathers went flying everywhere. That wasn't very pleasant. There you go. Can you hear that rattle? Lower RPM, you can hear the rattles and that. But once you've got a bit of music on, you can't really hear them as much. I mean, I haven't really pushed this car that much, so I don't really know what it's fully capable of. I've done a couple little simple 0 to 60 runs and that. I think I had 6.6 or 6.7 seconds to 60, and that was when it was very slightly damp. So you throw some good tyres on the front of it, at least you can get respectable times. It's not really a 0 to 60 kind of car. It's like the Focus. It's more so like just power when you're rolling. But these do map differently. There's not really many places you can go with these Mondeos. JWR's one. I think you can go to Evolution, or you find someone that knows what they're doing with mapping cars. Because if you put a focus map on them, apparently they don't run very well. There is a few little differences with how they're fueled, I think. I don't know if all you'll hear is wind noise here, to be honest. Where all the torque starts to kick in. It does get a little bit, you know, put it to a higher gear, but it is fun. It just kind of make me feel a bit more like I used to when I was a little bit younger, when I had my Fiesta. I mean, I'm not that old, but a couple of years ago my Fiesta ST, it kind of puts a similar sort of smile on my face. You can't, you know, throw it round corners like you could with that, but it still gives you a bit of a zing that I didn't really get with the diesel. So I think if I can tidy the handling up a little bit, I think it would be really good. If I could get like 5 more to the gallon, I'd class it as perfect. If I could get like 23, but at the moment 18 is what I'm getting. And to be honest, I rarely ever get to drive it spiritedly at all. My missus hates it. So yeah, if you're a family man and you're looking for something with a nice engine, Focus ST might be just a little bit too small or something for you, then have a look at one of these. Just try and find a good one that hasn't been thrashed to an inch within his life, and a nice, somewhat tidy example. It's up to you if you want to get one like I did that already had the mods on it, because the exhaust alone is around £1,000. The intercooler's a good few £100. The induction kit's a good £300. The map altogether is around £500. So if you get one that's standard and you start doing it yourself, putting all the mods on, it gets expensive. But I think because the Mondeos are owned usually by older people, let's say, with kids or something, chances are, well, hopefully they're not as thrashed as a Focus ST would be. I know everyone goes on about cracked liners and stuff like that, but I haven't seen that many. I've seen a couple, obviously, that have had issues, but there's also a couple people that have got over 200,000 miles on theirs, and it's been fine. You just kind of treat them nicely, you know. Don't rag the shit out of them from cold. Let them warm up, let them cool down a bit when you're finished. It's simple things like that, keep them serviced and well maintained. I had mine serviced yesterday, and the guy I go to said they're sound engines as long as you look after them and just don't thrash them from cold. They're alright. that's about it. I don't really think I've got much else to say. Sorry if you feel like I've wasted your time. Hopefully you've gained something. I've helped you make a decision, maybe, I don't know. There's not really that many videos on YouTube about this version of the Mondeo specifically. I mean, you can go watch another video if you want a bit more general knowledge of the car, of a normal Mondeo. Well, that's what it is really. It's a Mondeo with slightly stiffer suspension in the sport trim, 18-inch wheels, and a 2.5. That's it really. So yeah. It is quick. These are quick.